Hey, welcome to Family Feud. I'm Megan, I'll be your host. Today we have some amazing contestants. Welcome the Lears and their friends and foes. King Lear, Goneril, Regan, and Cordelia. Are you guys ready for the first question?
Yes, we are!
Okay, first question. How much do you love your father?
I love my father more than words can describe. I love him more than anything else in the world.
I second everything Goneril has to say, but my love for my father is so much that I hate all other joys. I only love my father.
And Cordelia, how much do you love your father?
Nothing, sir.
That's not an answer. Try again.
I love my father as much as I should, no more, no less.
If this is true, then I will divide my land between Goneril and Regan. Cordelia, I disown you. You are no longer my daughter. Move out of my kingdom and go marry the King of France.
Are you crazy? You're insane to disown Cordelia. She truly loves you the most and she's your favorite.
Shut up! Go away, Kent.
I don't really love him.
I just want go away.
Okay, well, on to our next team, Gloucester, Edgar, and Edmund. What are ways of being deceitful to your family?
By having a kid before you're married with someone who's not your wife.
Tricking your father into thinking your brother not to kill him in order to inherit his fortune for forging a letter, and then convincing your brother to leave far away because your father is supposedly very upset with him.
Wow, seems like you have experience with that. Let's move back to Team 1 before this gets too intense. What would you do if your father showed up at your house with 100 of his friends?
First, I would have my friends be rude to my father's friends and demand that he sends half of his friends home. I would pretend to be sick and tell him to go stay with my sister.
I would side with my sister, but only allow him to have 25 of his friends stay with him.
That's so rude.
Fine, then I wouldn't allow him to have any of his friends stay at my house.
Sounds like this father has no place to stay. Time for the storm game. Who is willing to play from this team?
I will. Get me away from these women.
The challenge of the game is to see how long you can last in the storm. Come over here, sir.
Let the rain
Slow and rain! Curse my beautiful daughters! Come out! You're going insane! No! My mental illness makes me not be able to feel the storm!
coming clean. I'm coming.
No! Wow, impressive. You survived the storm for a total of 8 minutes and 43 seconds. Let's add $100 to your team's earnings. We have some new clothes for you to change into while I go to the other team for our next question. Team 2, are you ready?
Yeah.
What would you do if your father had his eyes gouged out and asked you to let him kill himself?
Can you explain, please?
Okay, say for instance your father helps King Lear over here escape to Dover from his evil daughters who are plotting to kill him. But your father is captured by one of his daughters and her husband, so as punishment they tear at his eyes. You're now leading your blind father, but he wants to kill himself. What would you do?
Wow, okay, well, I would take my father and lead him to Dover, but since he would be so depressed and wanting to kill himself, I would fake bring him to the top of a cliff and lead him to jump, but really it's not a cliff at all. Once he thinks that he has jumped off the cliff, I would run up to him pretending to be someone else. I would act like it was a miracle he lived after falling off the cliff and that he should be grateful for surviving the horrid temptations of the devil to kill himself. Then I would continue to lead him to Dover.
Wow, I couldn't have asked myself for much of a better answer. But Edmund, what would you do if your blind father wanted to kill himself?
I'd let him kill himself, especially since that's what his desires are.
Okay, then, time for the next question. Team 1, you are going to the battle. Who would you pick to be on your side of the fight?
Well, Reagan and I would side together, and it would be our team. We would have Edmund and Albany as well.
I would side with the other team. I would express my apologies to my other daughter, Cordelia, as she is the one who truly loves me. I would team up with Cordelia, Edgar, and Gloucester to go against my other daughters.
Team 1 again. If you were not married, who would you pursue as a lover?
Oh, well that's easy. Edmund. He's really attractive and much more honest than my husband, Albany.
What? I love Edmund.
Looks like it's time for the scenario game.
My milkshake brings all the
Okay, someone from Team 2, draw a contestant's name from this hat.
I will. Cordelia.
Okay, here's the scenario. You're at battle against Cordelia, Lear, and Edgar, and your team wins. What would you do with Cordelia as your captive?
Well, I suppose if I won the victory, then I would hang her to death.
Okay, now someone from Team 1, draw a contestant's name.
I will. Reagan.
Alright, so playing off your guys' love for Edmund, how would you make sure to win his heart over Reagan?
I mean, I guess I'd poison her so I don't have any competition.
Wow, everyone's turning against each other. Another scenario. Edgar, how about you draw now?
Okay. Edmund.
Your brother Edmund is plotting against you and your father. Plus you find out he's having an affair with 2 women. What would you do?
Wow, he's a terrible person. I would probably stab him to death.
So Edmund's dead too. Let's go back to Goneril. What would you do now that Edmund's dead?
I don't think I could live with myself. I love Edmund. I would stab myself to death.
Back to Team 2. Gloucester, please draw a name.
Alright. Edgar.
Okay, so going off of what we said earlier about you being blind, what would you do once you find out that your son was the man in disguise who saved you from committing suicide and led you to Dover?
I'd probably be so grateful and overjoyed that I would die.
What is up with everyone killing each other? Sisters poisoning sisters, brothers stabbing brothers, people killing themselves? This is tragic.
This is just too much. I think I'm going to die.
Well, that leaves one family member standing. Edgar, you're our winner today. Albany out there in the audience, I think you're a winner today as well after hearing about your wife's betrayal and lasting through this show. Congrats, men. Thanks for watching today's show. I'm your host, Megan Cottle, here with our winner, Edgar. Tune in next week for coverage of the Montagues and Capulets.